Hiya! Today I'd like to do a sketchbook tour for you. This is a sketchbook by Orange Art and Orange Stationery, sorry, and I really enjoyed working on it. It's a special one for me. I'll talk to you about them in a second, but if you're new here, my name is Kama. I'm also known as Weird is the Best on the internet, and I'm a mixed media artist and I love making all kinds of art, exploring new mediums, trying out new things, and anything to do with art I like to try and do. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's get into it. So this is an Orange sketchbook. It's a UK brand, a small business here in the UK, and it's run by Morgan Grice, who also runs some drawing sessions which might be in the sketchbook, so look out for those. I'll talk to you about the stickers on the covers in a second. But this sketchbook was her, I think it was last year. She made a collection of these really lovely, I'm just checking if everything's in shot, really lovely end papers in these sketchbooks, and really she always handpicks really lovely colors as well, and all of these sketchbooks are handmade by her. I think sometimes she outsources them, but most of them, 99% I think, are done by her. And yeah, it has a really special feel. My covers are often even in a worse state than this, but I don't, like, if I was too precious about them, I would never fill it up. And I was quite precious about the sketchbook. You will see a big gap in it. And until I decided that, you know what, I'm just going to fill it up. I have a few more Orange sketchbooks, and there's no reason to be precious with sketchbooks. Like, if I don't use them, that's when it's wasted. Top tip from my art friends. Like, such a clever tip, but I don't live by it usually. Okay, enough of that. I promised that I will talk about the stickers on this cover. So this is a sticker that I picked up at Bubble for free. So Bubble is a comic festival in Harrogate in UK. It's in November every year, and it's a 2-day Comic-Con and like a week-long festival across Yorkshire and that area. And last year, a few people teamed up. I don't know, maybe like 30 people, more than a few, teamed up and created the unofficial Bubble sticker club, which meant that everyone could contribute their free stickers to the club, and people who were visiting could pick them up. So yeah, and in short, that's where it came from. I unfortunately don't know all the artists. I will try and look them up, but I might not do it in time for this video. And these two are also from the unofficial Bubble sticker club. Really lovely. I really like their quality and how they look. And every artist was had different styles. So that was really fun to try and find as many as I could while I was there. And this one's from my friend Claudia Matosa. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. And we often see each other at Comic-Cons and other festivals where we very often swap stickers. And I think this was she gave it to me. Really cool. It's from, this one might be from the Whip anthology rather than from her graphic novel, but it's really cool. I love her stickers. Okay, let's get into the sketchbook because you're here for the sketchbook, not for my talking. So yeah, and again, really beautiful cover. This is from the packaging from the sketchbook. I love keeping them. I don't know, there's something about Morgan's way of designing these that I love keeping them. And it's nice to have a reminder of what the paper was and like the type of sketchbook. I always preserve packaging. I just can't throw them away. I don't know, I just love packaging. So these are from the Orange, and this one's from Sophie McPike, who you should definitely check out if you haven't heard of her. Here, there's my details on here, just in case I ever lost this sketchbook. And this is a postcard from Manki Mintaka. I ordered something from her. And this is a kind of like a information from when I ordered this sketchbook. Morgan always gives you like a postcard with all the details on it. And I covered up a page that I didn't quite like, and I didn't want to like continue working on it, so I just covered it up with these things. Here's a drawing that I did. So I pre-painted this page and I tried to draw on top. Really didn't like that page, so I pretty much covered it fully. And I drew this jellyfish from Zetongling on Pexels. So Pexels is a website with free drawing references. They are royalty free. You can do with them whatever you want. It's nice to credit the person who took the photo, but you don't have to. Like, they freely give those photos away to the public, and anyone can do anything with them that they want, like artistically. So yeah, I drew this jellyfish. And something worth mentioning is, so I started the sketchbook on the 14th of May 2024, and I've been drawing every day for quite a while now, and this was my day 156, I believe. So I was like just putting blobs here and yeah, swatches and things. I was planning to draw on it, but I didn't like it as much, so I just put some things from my when I ordered from other people, I just stuck them in the sketchbook. This is from Melissa Martin Art, from the Art Gang Party, and these two are from Claudia Matosa. And this is from Katie Moody. If you haven't watched her videos, you should definitely check her out. She is a mixed media guru. Like, she knows everything about mixed media, and I love about her channel and her like Instagram and everything is that she always experiments with new mediums and tries to learn new things, which is great to watch, and like you can learn from it as well. So here I must have ordered something from her, and this is also drawn on one of her drawing sessions. So we were drawing her photos from Japan. I didn't love it, but I used mediums that I wasn't too familiar with, so like watercolors and like wax crayons on top, I think, and I didn't enjoy it that much, so yeah. One token for Japanese takeaway. This is currency in our house. Some washi tapes from packaging. You will see some like random pages in between, and that's when I want to protect a page from being damaged by the pages next to it. This one was pretty safe, but I like this artwork a lot, so I didn't want to damage it. This is a drawing that I drew from another reference from Pexels. I didn't note down the artist, so I can't tell you what it was. But Pexels has so many beautiful jellyfish photos on it, you should definitely check it out. And I use these colors, so these are Tombow brush pens and some colored pencils. Please ignore the sound. And this was a drawing I did, so you can watch this on YouTube, here on YouTube, as a paint along, like speed paint kind of thing. And also this was a print for my Patreons. So yeah, it was really fun to do it. I really enjoyed drawing this. I used a lot of my favorite Caran d'Ache luminance pencil. When I start drawing with these, I can't stop, and I fill in every tiny like spot and empty space. It's Dark Indigo by Caran d'Ache Luminance. Really soft and creamy pencil. This is from a session with Monkey Mintaka, who you can find here on YouTube as well. And this was from her Patreon, where we were drawing houses and like building up scenes. I think this was, I can't quite remember if it was a single scene we drew from or multiple photos, but I really enjoyed this. Not my medium at all. I think I used Artex marker pens and some colored pencils, things like that. Yeah, this is definitely like Caran d'Ache pencil, fluo pencil. And yeah, it was just fun. This cut didn't really turn out like a cut, but I didn't mind. It was quite a fun exercise. This is again from one of the Monkey Mintaka sessions. This one was all about space. I think maybe I did these not in order or something. And some more space references. Really fun. This was a weird reference. I can't remember quite how the reference looked, but it was weird. I really loved this artwork, photo. And I loved how Monkey Mintaka drew this. April drew this beautifully. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun exercise again. I used some watercolors and wax crayons again. Oh, and Tombow brush pens. I can see swatches here. Another session, I think I was just watching them, like I just joined her Patreon and I was just rewatching some older session replays. This one was, I don't quite remember what the title of this session was, but it was really interesting, challenging as well. And I used graphite pencil and some highlighter pens. So very simple, like in terms of materials. Yeah, had fun with this. And another one from that session. Really fun session. I think I'm going to finish this video after dinner, so if it looks like there's a weird cut, that's why. See you later. Okay, so I'm back. We finished on this page. And through the power editing, it's like an hour later. And this is the next page. So these are all sketches from my own reference photos that I took while on walks and things like that. I use graphite pencil and just a highlighter pen. I think it was, could have been Ecoline, but I think it was highlighter pen. It's a bit hard. I can't remember exactly. Actually, I just noticed it has a bit of glitter in it, and I think this was Pentel art brush. Here I was trying to, at the time, I was trying to improve my graphite drawing skills. So I just tried and drew a lot using graphite. And these are all from references from Pexels. Although this one says it's from ArtChoose Discord, so ArtChoose Discord means it's an art community on Discord run by an artist called ArtChoose or Autumn Chu, I think. And they post reference pictures from like Instagram, Pinterest and things like that. So the Pexels references are all royalty free. Artists kind of allow you to use them for commercial uses and things like that for free. But these, I would only ever use these for my sketchbooks to study and never like make finished stuff with them because they're other people's art, and Pinterest is not the best at like attributing who the author was. So just like if you were to look out for your own references, that's the difference. So you know, like from the legal point, not legal, it's not legal advice, but like from ethics point of view, I guess. Here I got some of these acrylic gouache paints, and by Holbein, and I was trying them out, and this is an artwork I made for my Patreon stickers and prints. So yeah, it was very interesting to play with them. I definitely want to paint with them more, and I accidentally, instead of getting gouache, recently I got a bunch of acrylic gouache again. Is it acrylic gouache? I can't remember if it's called acrylic gouache or acrylic gouache, but either way. So I have quite a few of these in new colors, and I'll probably be making some art with them soon. And I'm thinking of swatching them all, so swatching all my acrylic gouache so you can kind of see what they look like and maybe make some art with them, but I'm a bit scared to use them, to be honest. I don't know why, but acrylic paint in general dries, it's hard to, or almost impossible to wash it off once it dries on the palette and things like that, so that's why. This is like some drawings for my graphic novel. I was testing out different materials and ways to draw. I'm sorry. And here I was using TWSBI black ink and a glass dip pen and a brush. So the line work would be the dip pen and the brush would be the swirly lines and things. And I also used a couple other brushes. So yeah. A few more. So where was the break? This is May. Yeah, this is still like I was going strong in this sketchbook. Here I was trying for more pencil studies. I kind of tried I think I tried to do a bit of like journaling as well, and I did a self-portrait and some drawings from my reference photos. This is my cat. This says it's looking through old photos and memories. I'm not sure where this was. Yeah, I can't remember what this place was. But either way, just a bunch of photos, and I used graphite again. Again, I was kind of getting bored of graphite. I tend to change what I'm interested in, what I use a lot, so yeah. Here I looked at this drawing and tried different medium and like creating the same picture. I think this is just colored pencils. And here Inktense. Oh, there must be Inktense pencils. They're very vibrant, and I can tell because I use them with water here. Here is a drawing I did at a online workshop where we learned to draw maps with like character, I guess. And this kind of pictures my first ever trip to Copenhagen. And I did visit a really nice, peaceful cemetery. There is something about some cemeteries, especially in certain countries, that they are so well kept and peaceful to walk around. And this one was particularly popular or famous because of the trees. There's like a massive path of beautiful trees. I didn't do it justice, but I put it here. There was this bladder, which is a tiny gallery that has zines and like photography and things like that. But also at the back of it, they had a zine shop. It was like a hidden gem. Like if I didn't know that it was there, I might have missed it. So it was really, I took a long walk just to get there and see it. But it was a treasure, like, to find that. Lots of like small, independent or like, yeah, quirky zines. Really cool place. This was a park I did a park run at. And I went to Botanical Garden and another park called Orsted Sparken. I don't know how to read this in Danish, but it was my favorite park by far. I love that place. Danish Architecture Center, which was really amazing, and it had a massive slide, which is why I drew it. And it is like this, the reason I picked a slide and not some like exhibit from that museum was I was on the bus going to Nyhavn, and on the way there I saw this slide and I was like, I have to go there. And that's how I discovered the Danish Architecture Center. Really cool museum place. Amazing. I really enjoyed it, and it was very interactive and like fun. And Nyhavn, very popular place, probably the most popular like sightseeing place, where I had some street food. And I sketched a bicycle, but I never painted it. At the time, I didn't feel bicycles. I guess they're hard. Here, I joined for the Odd Orange session where we drew cats. And like I mentioned, the sketchbook is by Odd Orange, so it's only apt. And it was one of my favorite sessions ever. I kind of wasn't very good at drawing cats before, and this gave me a lot more confidence at like their shapes, and like this was quite a hard pose, but I think I managed to make it look like the cat in the picture. And this is extra cute cat. Yeah, just really liked. And what helped a lot is a tip that you might want to kind of play with in your own sketchbooks, was to use especially the lighter ones, like this one and this, sketching it with a light pen, and then going over it with a darker color once like you've worked out the overall shapes. Because if you make a mistake with a really light medium, it doesn't really show up that much on the page. I think it's a nice trick, like quite neat to do. This is one of those pages I mentioned. I just like recycle pages, and this was like a printout from the printer. Some more cats. Yeah, I think those cats were all like in difficult to draw poses, but I really, really enjoyed this session. And inspired by that, I drew my cat from my picture, and then I drew like a self-portrait with my cat. I think it's really cute, if I say so myself. I just really enjoyed this. And this was still in June, and this is still in June. I joined a session with Katie Moody, and she put us on a website called oneminutepark.tv, where you get random scenes from random parks around the world for 1 minute. It's like video recordings of scenes in the park for 1 minute each. So this was very quick, and I struggled. Here I drew my favorite, like my most commonly drawn character, just this weird cat. So I kind of didn't, I don't think I finished this session, but then there was another session with Katie Moody, who's also here on YouTube, so you should check her out as well. We were drawing, I can't remember, but it was like a short timer and a long timer. This one was not a lighthouse. What's it called? One of those where you grow your plants and stuff. And I used my masking fluid, which is blue, and I really struggled taking it off. So yeah, not my thing, really. I definitely, like this one I didn't even bother taking off. This is also masking fluid. This is what it looks like before, and this is what it looks like after I removed it. I used like a razor because I just could not peel it off. And you can see here where I just like randomly swatched it and then removed it, and it just didn't work. And here I just drew random plants and birds. Might have been from my own photos. I kind of recognize these shapes. Here I was testing out some... This looks like pink paint. And it's, yeah, it's watercolor. Or like, it's called Shinhan Pass, I think, if I remember correctly. But this color is probably from that paint. And Shinhan Pass is like a gouache watercolor kind of thing, like a mixture between the two. I really like it. It's very inexpensive. The binder is a bit on the cheap side, like very watery, but you know, it's a cool way to have something inexpensive and play around with that. Here I got some paints from Rosa Gallery and Roman Schmal. Just a receipt. That's so weird. The glue from the tape completely obliterated the text on the receipt. That's so interesting. I didn't know. Like, I knew that happens with receipts because they are... This is not ink. This is like... I can't even remember. It's some kind of heat technology. And yeah, I didn't know it did that. Some plants that I picked up. Again, I did these swatches and I thought maybe I'll cover them with some drawings, but I didn't. This must have been a swatching video here because I recognize the materials. If it is, I will link that up for you. Some more swatches of the same materials. I think Carmine... I think it's these paints. I must have bought a couple extra colors. So it must have been like Jackson's art color or something. And I was like trying to blend colors and just see what happens. They're completely different art materials, so like acrylic gouache paint. This must be acrylic gouache as well, and watercolors. So yeah, just playing around. Here I went to a local like area and painted plein air, and I really messed up the proportions. But it was a weird kind of scene because the duck was sitting much closer than this person was walking. So yeah, I tried to do it justice, but maybe I didn't manage. But it was really fun to go out and draw outside. I really enjoyed just sitting out and, you know, chilling. And I really like this color, this green. All of these greens on this page I love. It's always nice to... I know we can be harsh on ourselves when we make art. And especially if it doesn't work out the way we want to. But it's a very good practice to always look at the artwork and try and pick out the bits that you like about it, because there will always be something that you either learned or... Just checking if I'm recording. And you either learned something from it or you have like... I like the brickwork detail. Like, yeah, it's nice to try and find something good. And if you can't, that's fine. You can always move on to the next one. And here is a page where I can't tell if you can see the shine or not. It's like watercolor or some kind of wet media on the back, and then I covered it with graphite pencil. And this one is probably my favorite page. I know I really liked the Jellyfish at the beginning, but this was so fun. This is something I drew on a session with the Art Hack Party run by Melissa Martin Art. Sorry if the sound went a bit strange, but I've stood up just to make sure I'm showing you the picture without the shine. And we pre-painted the page, or prepared the page up front, and then we drew on top of it, and there were lots of different reference images, and we combined them all into one. And I'm thinking of turning this into print, if it will scan well. I kind of really like this vibe. So that's this. And yeah, I have to have a piece of paper because you can see how much, yeah, it just gets very muddy otherwise. Here's a panel for a comic. I'm working on a graphic novel, and this features in my comic zine, and it will feature in my finished graphic novel. This was my day 199 on 26th of June last year. Here is a session from, again with Orange. This was Birds in Flight. Really cool session, really enjoyed it. I think I watched this as a replay. And I recorded some footage from it, but we never posted it. I meant to do like a critic, you know, crits, where you review each other's work. I meant to do that with my friend, but I don't think we ever got around to doing it. But yeah, I really loved drawing these birds. Like, I was very loose, like extremely loose. And I liked that. Like, I think it shows in how free these drawings are. And here I guess I stopped doing that because they're a bit more precise, I guess. Yeah. I sometimes like adding backgrounds. They just make the main subject pop out a bit more. I think this one I added later on from a different reference, but this was on the session. Here is another session with Katie Moody. I'm going to stand up again, just to make sure that you don't see just the reflections. And we drew owls, and I added some extra text. Some of it was like inspired by the chats we were having, and some of it I just added just because. I was trying to shade and like learn how to be better with my pencil. I really enjoyed this session, and you can tell I was enjoying graphite. I think at the time, either at the session, so this was Katie Moody and Beth Spencer, it was either at the session they mentioned, you showed up and that's enough, like this will be a hard session or something like that. I can't quite remember. Or it was from the Artist's Way. I'm not quite sure. It rings a bell that maybe they were talking about it. Here is a drawing session, drawings from a session called Drawing is Free. And this is a weekly session run by Chloe, and I forgot her surname right now. And she runs them twice a day on a Monday. Sometimes she takes a break, but most Mondays you can count on a Drawing is Free session. You draw people on the Zoom call, and she just picks random people on the call to pose for. She would put like a music on, and for the duration of a song, someone will pose, and everyone draws the same person. It's really, really fun. Really nice way to practice your people drawing and like portraits and, you know, getting better at it. I definitely wasn't as confident when I started doing this, but I've improved a lot. So this is in July. So like day 211. And there's so many, it's like 1 hour. Yeah, I love them always, whenever I join. This is This, if you've been here a while, you might have noticed this page. I won some paints on Instagram there was a giveaway from Jackson's Art. They teamed up with, or I don't know, they were giving away Roman Szmal urban sketching paint set, and I managed to win it somehow. So I was testing all the colors. I stuck here like the packaging because I thought it was a good reminder of what the set was. This was the Polish Urban Sketchers set, recommended by Urban Sketchers at least. And Roman Szmal is a Polish brand of watercolor paints. And yeah, I really like using them. They come in quite big pans usually. If you'd like to watch the swatching, I'll try and remember to link it up. But I'm running late today, this week. I'm recording it right before posting it, so who knows if I remember. I kind of, I don't want to say messed up, but I use the water in a way that means that it doesn't blend quite nicely, but overall I try to use the same, I try to study this image on the packaging, and I try to kind of see how I could use these paints in a urban sketching environment. I won these a week before I went to an urban sketching class, like a workshop, so it was really interesting to do that right before. Definitely sometimes I use a lot more pigment than necessary, so this is very saturated compared, but I had a lot of fun. And this image was painted originally by Marek Bądzyński. And this was still July. And this is from our urban sketching class. So we went out, after learning a few basics, we went out and we drew a local Guildhall square. And there were lots of skate people and I maybe wasn't the best at drawing these, but I really enjoyed drawing the entire scene, trying to learn, we learned, on that lesson we learned perspective, so I was trying to see how to apply that in my work. And some of it is quite good with perspective, I guess. I quite like this. This part of the image is probably my favorite, and this window. Here I took my sketchbook into the local woods and I literally stood with my sketchbook in hand and I drew what I saw. And I was using, so during this workshop, the teacher recommended Sailor Fude pen, which he was using at the time. And he also recommended putting in carbon ink in it. But I was just using the Sailor ink in this, the one that came in with the pen. And I really love how that pen draws thin and thick lines. It's a bit unpredictable. It's very playful. I have to go back to it because I kind of put it down for a bit. Here I was drawing, so it's another month again. So that's from, a couple weeks later. I kind of come and go with my sketchbooks, so I work in 5 or 6 different sketchbooks at a time, and I just pick whatever feels right in the moment. This is from a session with Scribble Brigade, and it's run by Sophie McPike, and she picked some prompts, and we were trying to simplify these scenes. And she also used Tombow brush pens, but I picked, I don't know why I picked these colors, whether she was using similar or whether I just picked these. But it was really inspiring session, and I've been doing this a lot since. It's a nice way of trying to simplify a scene. And this one was an art hang party, and we were drawing landscapes. I don't know if that session was meant to be simplified scenes, but I decided to do it this way, or whether, I don't know, I can't remember now. And I swatched a few colors. It was a week later. No, a month. No! So yes, this sketchbook had a gap, and this is August and this is December, so that's how long I left it, because I was feeling too precious. I was running out of it and I was like, no, I don't want to finish it. But I did in the end. Spoilers. And I continued doing this. I think this is from my journey to London. I was just I took lots of photos from the train and drew them later. And here I took this reference image, or even this drawing, and I tried different underpaintings. So I swatched the colors I used in these. So this had like this pinkish red on the background, and so on. This is, I think, acrylic gouache, maybe? I don't know. I forgot. It must be acrylic gouache. It feels that way. Here's a session from Friday Night Comics. That's not too much. This was like a workshop, so we were... I can't remember, what was it? Like thoughts and feelings on your mind, and we're trying to like use metaphors and things like that to represent them. Here I drew my self-portrait from a photo. Kind of like, it's not exactly, it doesn't look like me necessarily. I recognize myself in it, but it's a good practice to try and do that. And I quite like how it turned out. And again, this was end of December. Actually, no, a few days later I carried on. And January is a month of Burp Fest. A Burp Fest is a prompt challenge on Instagram, mainly on Instagram, run by Monkey Mintaka, and originally started by Birdie Tam Art. And Monkey and Birdie prepare, I think it was just Monkey, I don't know. But either way, they prepare a list of 31 birds for January, and everyone can join in and draw them either every day or whenever they want. Like, there's no strict rules. If you join, everyone's happy that you joined, you know? And I used my magic pencil to sketch these birds out. And then I took a photo of each and put them in my Procreate and digitized, like completely redrew them digitally. And I made, yeah, I'm quite happy with my Burp Fest this month, although I only made a few. I can't remember, like 11 or something. It was still a lot of fun. I quite like how these turned out. I like the colors on them. And the breakdancing duck. And I don't even know if I posted this on Instagram, but I quite liked giving them little bootsies and things. Here I was trying to remember what I used here. Might have been water-soluble graphite. I just drew a cat. I was kind of trying to do Katie Moody's prompt list for 30 Days of Sketchbook Joy, but it was just maybe roughly inspired by her prompt, but I wasn't really playing along anymore. I don't know, it was just too much pressure with all the other things I had going on. But I quite like this cat. It's supposed to be my cat, doesn't at all look like my cat, but I enjoyed doing it. Here I went to a local art society, and at this session someone was demonstrating how to paint with acrylic paints. I think it was acrylic paints. I don't know, because I couldn't see much because of the way the speaker was positioned, and they never changed angle, so yeah, I only saw like a corner of the image. But I decided, because I couldn't see what he was doing, so I decided to draw while being there. And I drew this person. I really like how this drawing turned out. And then I got like into drawing people from like the side or behind. And I continued. Definitely prefer this page to this. I don't know, these people look a bit haunted, but I don't mind. Like, I was still enjoying it, still listening to what was going on. And here was an odd orange session. This is like... Anyway, it doesn't matter how long it was between. This was an odd orange session where we studied some film stills with Morgan Grice. And I focused on getting a quick one, like a study of where the darks and lights were, and then drawing that reference picture. This was, I think, the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I drew her face sideways, and someone mentioned something about horses, and oh yes, I think it was a famous painter. We had a session before with Odd Orange where we drew famous painters at work. So someone took pictures of them, or I don't know, because there was Salvador Dali. I can't remember if it was like a painting of him painting or something, and he was painting his wife, and we learned that Salvador Dali, was it Salvador Dali? My brain just forgot that. There was a painter, let's say it was a painter, and he was painting, when he was painting, his wife always posed for him, and he always claimed to have put her in the picture, but we looked at that picture and we could not see a woman, but there was a massive, very impressive horse in that picture, and we imagined that maybe he used her as inspiration to draw that horse. So that's this. That's what goes through my mind when I draw. Another, studies, and then the finished, like the more finished images. I wasn't really feeling it, but I enjoyed the chats and at Odd Orange sessions. If you want to chat, I really enjoyed that side of those sessions. It's just like a nice catch up with your art friends. And again, I used graphite, so I kind of went back the full circle and came back to graphite in the end. These are some reference pictures, again, I picked up from ArtChoose Discord. This might have been from that, or it might have been from a local restaurant where I drew. We had Chinese New Year recently, and that's when I drew it, I think. Here are some drawings I did, so I redrew it using a different pencil, and I went to a cafe and I just kept drawing, I was drawing from observation, different people who were there. I feel like I'm definitely getting better, and I'm starting to see an improvement by just going out and drawing people. It won't always work out, sometimes you will just draw a cursed person, and that's fine. And yeah, I really like this woman's pose, and I like how this man came out, even though the mouth is a bit funny, but I like how it's a bit stylized, and this as well. These two are my favorite portraits in this, or drawings of people in this sketchbook. And I think we're coming to an end. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. And I didn't mention, I was using graphite here, and I was using, these are graphite drawings, and these are, I use Prismacolor, just like a random color I picked up. I really like using colored pencils sometimes, although you can't erase them, but they are a bit softer maybe, and less shiny. And yeah, here I used Prismacolor. And this is the end of the sketchbook. I really hope you enjoyed this, and maybe you found it inspiring, or, inspiring to try, or something new in your sketchbook, or to judge yourself a bit less. I mean, everyone makes ugly art, and that's fine. And there are certainly some pages in my sketchbooks that I absolutely, they really didn't turn out the way I wanted, but that's okay. So yeah, I hope I will be less precious in my sketchbooks, and I hope you will be less precious in your sketchbooks. Pick up some nice paper. I think Odd Orange sketchbooks, as they are on the pricey side, but I never regretted opening one up and drawing in it. The paper is so nice. Morgan sources her paper very carefully, and it's really, really nice to draw on. So yeah, I think that's it. You can find my links in the description below. As usual, I have an Etsy shop, and you can find all the different places you can find me. Also, you can find some playlists there. And yeah, have a lovely day. Oh, I forgot. If you enjoyed this, please leave me a secret emoji, and today the secret emoji will be something blue. I'm not very creative with this, am I? Oh no, let's make it more fun. Drop a fish, some kind of fish in the emojis if you'd like to leave a comment. I appreciate and I read all your comments, and I try and respond to all of them. Sometimes a comment goes missing on my app, for some reason, and I discovered it like months later. So sorry if I ever do not respond. That's not because I didn't want to. It's because I didn't see it. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So yeah, I gave you the secret emoji. Yeah, have a lovely day artsing, and until next time, bye! Oh, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. If this sketchbook wasn't enough sketchbooks for you, then click the link that popped up on the screen now to continue watching my sketchbook tours, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye!